when you say things shoot but work, does this wacky kind of comedy has space in this philosophy of wrestling? Do you know what I mean? There's like,
yeah,
I don't know, the Joey Ryan stuff, or who else is out there doing this wacky kind of comedy wrestling? Or is this, it entertains the people, but it's kind of a parody of wrestling? I don't know. Is it?
Well, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of that, and that has its place, I guess. I mean, I guess there's some people who enjoy it. I mean, that's cool, but the underlying theme, and if you watch the matches like Cody and Dustin, or even Undertaker and Goldberg, which I just watched earlier this afternoon. Apparently Goldberg knocked himself out, I guess, during that match. But the matches to communicate and cross over to where you make someone feel, whether it's crying or elation or your heart beating fast. See, I remember as a kid being excited watching wrestling because I didn't know who the booker was. I didn't know who the promoter. I mean, I knew the promoter, but didn't know who the booker or the writer or creator. They didn't have writers back then; they had bookers. But because the guys went out there and they believed it, and they made you believe it, even if you thought it was a work or fake or phony or fixed or whatever you want to call it. You had those guys. You had the guys like Johnny Valentine. You had the guys like Terry Funk, Dory Funk, Jack Briscoe, Buddy Rogers, Lou Thez, who'd go out there and they may not believe in wrestling, but they would believe in them. And that was what I mean by think, shoot, but work. Are there places for the comedy guys like Joey Ryan and the Young Bucks and things like that? Well, maybe there are. Now, it's obvious there are. They're paying for them. But paying to see them, I mean. But you can't have a whole card like that. I mean, when the circus was around, you had the clown act, you had the lion act, you had the high wire act, you had different acts for different taste. And that's what you need to find. You need to find the balance. And hopefully AEW will find the balance. But think, shoot, but work, I think, is the underlying theme for the business. You have to believe it to get anybody else to believe it.
That's a great line, by the way. Think, shoot, but work. That's a great one. And when you said like that, you have, as an audience, you have to believe in the wrestlers and all this. I think it's getting harder with every year because of the internet. I think the internet changed so much for how people consume wrestling, how fans, they interact even more. They talk about gossip and I don't know what, leaks and stuff like this. What do you think the internet did for wrestling?
Yeah, I agree. There's just a couple guys who still have some of the mystery to him. Like Moxley has an air of mystery to him. He will give interviews. I read the interviews. I get it. But he still keeps some of his stuff close to the vest, which is great. Lesnar is another guy you can believe in and is real. And when you step in the ring with him, or you see him go to the ring, you know he's real. So I think the internet has definitely, you can't go back to when there was no internet, obviously, but at the same time, that has really thrown the cover back, opened the curtain, and let everybody see what's going on. So it's not like it used to be. That's why you have to go that extra measure, I think, to get people involved. And the way to do that, again, is believe it yourself and not get jaded and think, shoot, but go out and work. So that the internet is always going to be around, and it's going to be one of those things, a necessary evil, obviously, but it's still up to you. I tell guys this all the time. Watch what you put on Facebook. Watch what you say on Twitter. Don't give everybody all the information about you. Keep that element of mystery. So it's up to them, up to the guys, I think.
I was about to say that. I think it's also a part of how people involved in the business are like behaving. That kind of changed how fans react to stuff. For example, I don't know, like a simple headlock nowadays is just just a transition move? Doesn't really mean anything.
Well, here's the deal. It's not necessarily the moves you do; it's in between the moves. So if you watch how the show or how the match progresses, you still have to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. You still have to know where you're going to get to. You still have to have your finish, and you have to know how you're going to get there. So sometimes I see this all the time with the guys who are planning everything in the back instead of going out there and just feeling it, because nobody knows how to feel it. Really, they don't. And the guys who do are older and can't necessarily get in there and do it anymore. But you're right. The way the guys behave, the way the guys have to get on Facebook or Twitter and put themselves over, or put the guy they worked with over and tell you how great the match was. And man, it's a different culture. It's a different thought process today. Back then it was trying to keep everybody in the dark. Well, everybody knows what it is now. But the thing that makes you different when you walk down the aisle, you get in the ring, is you believe it. Not like you're pretending to be a wrestler. You have to go out and be a wrestler. You have to go out with that. You have to have the look. You have to have the attitude. You have to have that vibe. I like that vibe when you go through. And Lesnar has it. Moxley has it. John Cena has a vibe. John Cena is a superstar, and he knows what he is. But even when you watch him, that's John Cena, and you know he's a star. You have to carry yourself like a star, and that being a star doesn't mean you go out and tell everybody your business. You don't go out and let everybody know what's going on.